Hi, and thank you for finishing the first part, the required part of our history class. The second part is going to focus on social history, which is the history of society, culture, work, gender, ordinary people, customs. It can include music and art, so many different things. Social history is very similar in some ways to the study of anthropology or sociology, except that social history looks mostly at the past, sometimes the ancient past, as well as the recent past. So in this section, I'd like to combine thinking about social history with some of the things I talked about in the What is History video, especially point of view. One of the best ways to understand how history works, how people write history or do history, is to find an issue that is very controversial, to find an issue where there aren't just two sides, but many, many, many sides and points of view in looking at the problem. So two of my favorite issues to teach and to get students thinking about, to get myself thinking about, are racism in the United States and the Second World War in Japan. Now, racism has been a fundamental part of U.S. society since the days of, could say, almost the Pilgrims came to New England, since the first British settlers came to New England, and the issue of what Japan was responsible for doing in the Second World War has been a really continuing and very, very controversial issue in Japan, especially in Japanese education, social studies education, and also in relations between Japan and Korea and China. So what I'd like you to do is to take a look at one or both of these issues by clicking the links in the beginning of the social history section, and think about point of view. I'm going to show you some information about racism and about the Second World War that comes from Getting's point of view. It's from my point of view. And I always tell my students, don't believe everything your teacher tells you. Listen to it, think about it, come up with your own opinion. So the background of this is that the two main home pages that I'm going to show you are ones that I really like a lot and I learned a lot from. The second thing about point of view is, please don't think about a Japanese point of view or an American point of view. There is no American point of view. There is no Japanese point of view. There are many, 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 many American points of view and many, many, many Japanese points of view. Now, sometimes when people get very angry at each other and very emotional, they'll say, that's racist, or that's so American, or that's so Japanese. Other people will use the words, your idea is very un-American. Or in Japanese, we'd say, your idea is very Hannichi, against Japan. Don't pay too much attention to these kinds of words. Look under the surface to see what's really there. There is no one American point of view, so there cannot be any un-American point of view. There is no one Japanese point of view, so there is no Hannichi, or anti-Japanese point of view. Especially considering that I'd like you to think about how Americans talk about racism and how Japanese talk about the Second World War. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this part of our class. Remember, there are two options, but you can do both. Option one is thinking about racism in the United States from Americans' points of view. And option two is thinking about the Second World War and Japanese society from Japanese people's points of view. You can do one or both. Hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, as always, please contact me through mail or make an appointment or through Zoom. Good luck.